network of religious leaders, yabantu leaders living with or personally affected by HIV. Sinaye namhlanje nimshalele izandla.
Ngilele egameni lenkosi yethu Jesu. Akakhethi ibala lamuntu. Akabuki ububi bakho. Ngifuna ukuzokhuluma nge-HIV namhlanje ngoba abaningi baye bathi mangabe sesikhuluma ngayo bathi i-HIV kusesakhathala iyona kodwa ibhizi yasidla kancane kancane. Asikwazi ukuyeka ukukhuluma ngayo uma abantu besaqhubeka befa ngale ndlela abafa ngayo. Ibandla lalekhaya babungene. Ibandla lasekhaya. Ngo-2009 sasinenkonzo la sizofuyihla omunye wodadewethu. Kulowo mngcwabo ngasukuma ngathi niyangibona mina sengiphile ne-HIV iminyaka ewu10 ngo-2009. uNkulunkulu kodwa ungiphilisile. uNkulunkulu ungibusise ngendlela eyisimangaliso. Ngathola ukuthi ngi-HIV positive ngise-single. uNkulunkulu wangibusisa ngomshado. Amen. Uzumbona uNkulunkulu ukuthi usebenza emfihlakalweni. Ngashada ngathola nayo intombazane iyaphila namhlanje. In 2009, I was so tired of losing people who were not telling us exactly what the problem was. And I disclosed my status for the first time in the community. I had done it in other places. But for the first time, I said to them, I don't understand why people are still dying, because we have the resources that can prolong people's lives. When I found out that I was living with HIV, I can write a whole book on that day. Then the silence was even deeper. There are lots of people who are living with HIV who died alone because their families had rejected them. All the sermons that I listened to, they were negative and very judgmental. And I remember I cried a lot. I was angry with God and I had lots of questions. I can easily choose to wallow in my depression. I can easily choose death. But I got up and I continued working. Almost on a daily basis, I choose life. Uzivikela kanjani kwintsholongwane kagawulayo? Akhulumani befundisi. Condom. Siyayikhuluma ecaweni condom. Why? I don't know what the condom has done to us as church people. It's just a piece of rubber which can save lives. But we are so scared.
If you shumayela ngecondom, so ubanika amathuba amancinci abantu ukuthi mababa apply self control.
Into ye flesh, as human beings, if flesh ifuna any flesh, finish and clear. Finish and clear. Ngisho ungabehave like an angel. Your humanness says you want intimacy.
Enjalo.
Okay.
Aphanti lahlangane neqabane lakhe nansi into esiyithethayo.
Bayabona lokho?
We are not sure about that.
Okay.
But eyona nto siyitshoyo ukwenza duty yethu thina zibefundisi.
But now I think my concern is we're putting a lot of pressure on young people to abstain. Whilst we know good Tina as young people, we struggled with this. And also we are reluctant ukuthi ama tools that can save their lives. Never ingxaki la ikhona. And I mean someone like James this morning ngimbuza ukuthi when you have an erection what do you do?
Yeah, ikhalimele.
He said he prays.
Yeah, byakhalimeya.
He said he prays. So I asked him, does it go down after praying? And of course, yeah. But we had a very interesting discussion, because reality is we don't want to talk about sex. Yet it's one issue that makes us vulnerable to HIV. So we have to talk about his sex. Okay.
And kuhle kum xa ndifundiswa nguwe ngolu hlobo nokubiza wena ngokunokwakho because mna not andinasisibindi enough kum ebandleni ukundiyithethe le nto. But xa ndizawuthi kuzawufika umntu ozawuthetha nge-HIV ofana nawo kuhle wena uzayithetha ngehlobo lakho, but emveni koko ndizawuphinda ndiyime emveni kwakho ndithi i-sex before marriage is a sin.
Where does the Bible actually say that? I want the verse that says sex before marriage is sin. Where is it? When the churches promoted messages like HIV is punishment from God, it's because it was presented as something that only affects people who are promiscuous and people who do not have moral values. So now, with all the work that we are doing, we are saying, how do we open up our churches in the context of HIV and AIDS and transform them into centers of healing? I was already a gender activist when I was disclosed as HIV positive. I felt I had a responsibility as a leader to make society aware of the dangers of excluding other people. So in Inarela, because we work with religious leaders who are living with HIV, we use our stories to promote hope and positive living. Hello, hello. And when the network was established, we realized that some of the things that we need to deal with are the issue of stigma, the issue of shame and silence, the issue of misaction, and also inaction, where religious leaders just didn't know how to respond to HIV. They had no skills, no tools at all. So what we do is, our core business is the eradication of stigma and discrimination. Yeah. When Inerela was established, it was to support us, the religious leaders who were living with HIV. I don't know whether you feel, is it still difficult for religious leaders who are living with HIV, or are things better now?
Je crois que dans mon pays, au début, la stigmatisation était très, très, très forte, surtout dans le domaine religieux, parce que on concevait le VIH-Sida comme une punition des dieux. On s'est rendu compte que dans le domaine religieux, la stigmatisation a beaucoup baissé parce qu'il y a eu des formations, il y a eu des enseignements et il y a eu les témoignages aussi des leaders religieux qui ont essayé de séparer le VIH-Sida du péché, de la morale. Maintenant, les leaders religieux qui sont positifs sont acceptés dans leur communauté et les leaders religieux aussi acceptent les membres, les chrétiens qui sont positifs dans leur communauté.
Bantabasha, akulula ukuphila ne-HIV. Hlalani nizilonda. I-treatment sengiyidle kusukela ku-2007. Ningadlala abantu abanikeza amanzi no-oil. Ningadlala abantu abathi sonibeka izandla bese niyasinda. Ithatheni i-treatment ngabe kufanele niyithathe i-treatment. Sizoyinqoba ngokwazi i-HIV, sibulala i-stigma ne-discrimination. Abafisa ukutesta abasabayo, asebathesta kodwa abangafuni ukukhuluma ngako, masize la uzokhuleka ubaba uMalinga.
Ngiyabonga ngayo le response ayizumehluka empilweni yakhe. Baba ongcwele, siyabonga ukuthi uzwile ukukhuluma kahle and uzogcwalisa baba impilo yakhe, umnike ukuphila okuchichimayo ngegama likaJesu waseNazaretha. I thank you, Lord. Yes. Amen.
Most of the churches that belong to traditional mainline churches that have structures of accountability, we have found that their theologies have changed and they hold each other accountable. There is more acceptance. They tend to embrace people who are living with HIV, and some of them have even changed some of their doctrines. But with the independent churches, we are really struggling. When I facilitate training for religious leaders, I often use my own example. That I have a mother who goes to a charismatic, Pentecostal, and very independent church that promotes the use of faith water, faith oil. And my mother really believes in these things. And whenever she gets an opportunity, she gets them for me. And she believes that they will cure my HIV.
Qala mina ngiqale ngadila ne-faith water ngabona ukuthi khona iy'nkinga esey'funa okustronga uma ngabe ngiphuza itiye ngifake i-faith honey ngawufaki ushukela uma ngabe ngigcoba ngiyiyeke i-aquas le ngiyigcobayo ngigcoba i-faith oil. Now we've got faith fragrance. You can even put that, shake it and say, I want all the bad dreams and bad things that are affecting my family to go away. It's gone.
So, yeah.
I suppose it works for people. I don't have a problem if people continue taking their medication and they use these things. But I have a problem with people not adhering to their medication regime. Why do people have such a negative attitude towards ARVs?
People want to treat HIV differently than any other disease.
Well, I take mine religiously. And I remember once I met someone who said, that means I don't have enough faith. He's praying for me. He hopes one day I will see the light and stop taking the medication. I had to tell him, stop wasting your time. Instead, pray for my medication to work. Because I'm not going to stop taking medication, yeah. Amalanga, Amalanga, wethembekile, Jesu. You are faithful, oh Lord. You are faithful, oh Lord. Every day and every hour, you are faithful. Oh Lord, you are faithful. Oh Lord, you are faithful. Oh Lord, every day and every hour, you are faithful. Oh Lord.
So how's Durban?
You know your friend.
You know the faith water? She says she walked out the house and then she found a snake. So she poured some of the water on the snake.
Yeah.
And then the snake just died.
And you believed that story.
What was I supposed to say?
Anyway, that's your go-go.
Yeah.
We still love her, I mean, with all that confusion.
Sure. Hold on, what are you guys doing?
Roseanne, I'm a flight summer board members. Are they leaving tomorrow morning, all of them? Okay. What are some of the assets that we can use from the different religions to deal with the issue of stigma and discrimination, one, and also discuss the issue of sexuality?
I think where it comes to the Hindu faith, we do not have any controversy that regards is that right or wrong. Where it comes on to the sexuality issue, it's like any country. It's a subject that nobody wants to talk about, though they are very aware of it. In the Hindu scriptures, it's quite broad. It includes the neutral, which includes all the LGBTI community, actually.
Even in our own culture, traditionally, there wasn't any discrimination towards the LGBTI community. People were accepted as members of the family, and it wasn't made such a big thing. But now with the colonization, the new laws, and all the external forces, it is demonized.
Dans l'Église catholique, l'homosexualité n'est pas acceptée. Donc il y a une double action qui doit être menée, un double plaidoyer qui doit être mené au niveau de nos gouvernements et à la fois au niveau de nos hauts leaders religieux pour faire face à ces genres de problèmes de criminalisation des minorités sexuelles.
I am a board member of the Inclusive and Affirming Ministries. They facilitate dialogue on issues of sexuality to help the church to understand how they have been affected by the negative theologies in the church that promotes the rejection of the LGBTI community. In all the African countries almost, before the elections, they change their messaging completely so that they can get the votes also from the LGBTI community. Soon after the elections, there's reverse. They go back again.
Pumzile, isn't that very much the same what the church does to LGBTI people? If you think about the Dutch Reformed Church, where the policy was changed, and then a few weeks later, the appeals came in, and the whole decision on wonderful inclusion on all levels for LGBT, or gay and lesbian people in particular, is put on ice.
Sexuality is just as important as our spirituality. But unfortunately, in the religious community, we've almost suppressed sexuality completely. And we need to find ways of encouraging each other to integrate the two and know that both are a gift from God.
I think back on the statement that I released the day when I made the announcement that I was going to get married to my same-sex partner in church. I'd rather be rejected for who I am than to be accepted for who I'm not. And my world as I knew it came to an end. It was turned upside down. The church that I trusted became this monster. But in another level, my life with the church is actually more connected, because who is the church? The church are people like us in our context. It's not a building. It's not a place where you gather on a Sunday. The church is actually, in fact, every single day when you encounter people and you are together and you encounter the experience of respect and love and patience and endurance and kindness and humility.
I came out about 20 years ago. And my coming out was also a cry for wanting to be authentic with myself. And from the moment I stepped out of the closet, I was preparing myself to be killed. Because in our community, there's a death sentence for being gay. But the one thing that I felt from a very young age was this connection with God as a God of authenticity, and that for me to embody the qualities of God, I would have to be authentic with myself. And the more I've opened myself to serve, the closer I felt I was to God.
There are lots of people, for instance, from the LGBTI community who would be going to church, but they do not have the freedom to actually disclose their sexual orientation, because then they would be rejected or judged or discriminated against. Now, we have used contextual Bible studies to say to people, on what basis are we discriminating against people?
What do we learn from Jesus' response in this text?
Contextual Bible study is a specific way of reading the Bible. And basically what it does is you read the Bible within a community, taking their context into consideration. So you help them to look at the socio-historical background of the text. You encourage them to read between the lines as well. And the aim of the contextual Bible study is to bring about transformation. So our approach that has worked very well is encouraging people to embrace diversity. Are there any questions? Mhlambe into okufanele siyicacise ebingekho clear?
Maybe you prepare the word of God early part of Matthew chapter 8, you know, when this man came to Jesus Christ, kneeling to Jesus, even leprosy. Yeah. I think because when you go out, you preach the word, you have to prepare yourself as the situation then like HIV, HIV, you can come, you can have love because represent
Gospel of Jesus has got a lot of mercy. There's a grace there. Yeah. And to look after people who are there to share. Nababonga abantu nabagulayo nabanjani.
Wobani abantu okumele ngabe sithetha nabo siyabanakekela that we minister to. Njengamanje kule insuku zanamhlanje.
Abantu abarejectwayo ngaphandle then ngabo abasifana basiba reach out for the gospel.
Bangobani labantu? Who are they? Abafundisi lathola kangaka bomama. Gays abanye abantu abangenalo the poor, especially kwawethu amabandla kuyaswenkwa. People on a Sunday dressed to the nines. So people who don't have beautiful clothes, they feel out of place.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's culture. Culture ni created in emabandleni. Erifuna ni challenge from the pulpit. I was also once a person who discriminates against others. I was also once a person who stigmatizes. But as I began to understand the issue of sexuality, I have become more open-minded. And I believe it's the same for all religious leaders. Once you expose them to knowledge, they change their attitudes. So it's not an easy journey, but we've come a long way. During our time, we never heard of anyone who had STIs. I don't know whether people were hiding it or it was so rare.
They were hiding it. Even if they go to the clinic, they'll tell the nurse, I don't want the people to know that I've got this.
For most parents, it's still difficult to talk about these things.
Yeah. That's when guys can come in and take advantage of you because you don't know what the complications are, and then you fall pregnant and your mom throttles you.
Why are you pointing at me?
Just saying.
Yeah, anyway. So I think this sexuality thing, it's big. We need to create spaces where young people can talk about sex and sexuality. It's very important. Kunomthandazo owabhalwa itheologian esePhilippines. Ngicela ukufunda ngesingisi lo mthandazo. La ethi khona, I am a woman, I am alive, I am struggling, I am hoping, I am positively living with HIV. I am created in the image of God, just like other people in the world. I am a person with worth and dignity. I am a thinking person. I am a feeling person, a doing person. I am the small I am that stands before the great I am. Amen. I believe all of us, women and men, young and old, Christian and non-Christian, we are called upon to be responsible. Sikhulume ngezinto ezisithintayo empilweni. Sibiziwa thina njengebandla. Masibe igarage labantu abalimele. Mayingathi mesefike la afika shayeke kakhulu adinga ukuya kuma-panel beaters. Uyingcwele mama, uyingcwele,